Okay, a couple of weekends ago, went to a dragon rally in sunny Wales, and it was really nice. The weather was amazing, but on the way suffered, is that my finger? No, suffered some fuel starvation issues where the two outlets on the balance pipe underneath the petrol tank normally has one pipe going from one side to the other. I take my fuel feeds from those two now, and the fuel tap I've blanked off because it was very, very close on the other side to the starter motor cover. So the two 8mm outlets I had going into one wire piece, so that's restricting it, into one 8mm pipe that runs along under there to a fuel tap. I've got a remote fuel tap, and then it ran around under this frame round there. I'm doing this through the camera. So on there was a fuel filter, glass fuel filter, which I've lost. Completely and utterly lost the bloody thing. Hold on. Oh. No, God knows what I've done with that, but it's a glass washable fuel filter, sort of sat round here, and the pipe went, that's one of the pipes to the carb. There was a Y piece here, these are 6mm, so the pipe came around here to a Y piece, that pipe went down to there, and this one went to this carb. So myself and my mate, who I went with, we decided we could see that this clear pipe wasn't filling up. The one on the other side was, this one wasn't. And when we came to a hill, it just went down to sort of 40, 45. And then on the straight, if I tried to open the throttle up, sort of 45, 50, back down to 45, really not happy. This cylinder wasn't getting enough fuel, and I was risking wrecking the crankshaft. So we pulled over a couple of times, watched it fill up a little bit, and then eventually we stopped on that stupid little emergency cut-outy bits they've got with a telephone in it, and there was highways agency pulled up behind us straight away, but more or less. He was there to check out the telephone. He was good as gold. I mean, normally they can be complete wombles, but he was good as gold. Told him what the problem was, said I'll be a few minutes. And he said, when you let me know, I'll shut the lane. And I was expecting him to put his yellow lights on, pull out. I purposefully stopped on an uphill gradient so that any loaded lorries will be slow, and I'll be able to get, because you're not on a hard shoulder now, there's no runoff. You can't get any speed up. You have to pull out straight onto the inside lane, and you're merged. So fired it back up, signalled right, gave him the thumbs up behind me, and in front of us, there was a gantry, and immediately there was a red cross on the left-hand lane, said lane closed. All the lorries pulled over, and I just pulled out. It was really good, but we ended up pulling off at the next services, taking off the fuel filter, rerouting this pipe, rerouting these two little ones underneath the air filter. So instead of coming up to the Y piece and then running round to there, we dropped this down, took off the little Y piece, put it down there, and it was running a lot better after that. In fact, on the way home we was doing 70, loaded up with camping gear, loaded up with mud, my mate in the sidecar, and she was a lot happier. But obviously this isn't ideal. There's too many. You got a 6mm pipe there, a 6mm pipe there, a little wire piece, an 8mm pipe there, another wire piece to it, and it's just too many restrictions. So what I thought I would do is that's where it's blanked off, that's where the fuel tap goes. That is why I wasn't worried about a fuel tap as well, because I've put in my own little fuel gauge. I can see where the fuel is. So I've got the old fuel tap. This is what I was using. I ended up cutting these down because they were just too long to clear where the starter motor cover sits on the engine. So this one's old and it leaks, but what I want to do, obviously this is made for a 650 engine. That engine out there is 1,000, so it's drawing a lot more fuel. So when you look at these, I'm doing this through the camera so it's all over the place. That's your on, that's your reserve when it's inside the tank. How did I have it? When I, hold on, I've got to look down there. That's a 3.2mm drill bit. Oh. Just lost it. A 3.5 won't go in, but a 3.2. So that's a pretty small opening. They come out obviously into there. There's 2 3.5. These drillings go all the way through to there. This is that's your on when it's lined up with those 2 holes, and when you turn the lever it goes on to reserve. No, it doesn't. That's on because it's furthest away. It's that one. This is your reserve, so when you turn into reserve they're both open. Again, these are small holes. That's all right, that's a great big hole. Then the fuel goes through there. Out this pipe, sort of separates the water and any impurities. It will leave it in that little fuel bowl. It goes up that channel. You can't see it, but there's a little hole, again a small hole feeding into there, with, again, that's actually a bit bigger. Get 3.5. 3.5 goes in. A 4 won't. 3. So what I intend to do is, obviously I can't get in there with a drill. There's no way of. But what I've noticed is, it's not going to play, is it? They've obviously drilled the casing and put a little brass plug in. So starting from the top, cut that off completely. Drill out as big a hole as I want. There's loads of meat on these, look. From the fact everything on this bike is so thick, the frame is the same. The frame on these are like an acetylene cylinder. You cut the frame in half and the walls are really thick. The sidecar frame, when I put the foot plate on it, that's at least 5mm thick. It's so, the tubing and everything is so thick. So I can drill these out. I'm going to have 2 filters in line, so not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. So I can drill this one out, I can drill these 2 out, I can chop that off and make as big a hole as I need down there. These I can drill out. There's quite a bit of meat on there. That I don't have to worry about because it's a great big hole. I've done a before test, so I've already had this fixed to the tank, and I sort of dangled it all off the side with a precision implement. I had two rubber hoses going into this, and I filled it up to that level, and it took 3 minutes 41 seconds to fill that up to there. So that petrol's gone back in there. I know it's not amazingly scientific, but to try and keep the same level of head in the tank, to have the same pressure pushing out, blah blah. So I'm going to fall over, so I'm going to drill this lot out, and then do another flow test, and see if it's any quicker at all, basically. So we shall see what happens. I'll get drilling and then I'll come back. Right. That in there is a solid casting all the way down from the threaded bit all the way to sort of here. Everything on this bike is just immense. So I've opened that out to 5mm, so it comes out in there. Just see it shining in there. These are 4.5 because the walls were getting a bit thin. That's 5. I took off this. This is just an experiment. I'm just bastardising it. So that's the on and reserve. So what we've done, and these are out to 5. I've cleaned it up on the pillar drill, took a burrs off it. There are, however, it's not picking it up, but where I drilled down through there and up through there into this, where it's is that copper, brass? There's some little burrs in there, and it's tapered, so I can't put a ream in there or anything. I should just get some wet and dry and something to sort of, but I mean, can't do this with one hand. It turns quite freely. See, that's open now. Now it's closed. You can see the difference. I mean, you can see the inside turning where I've polished it. If I could keep the bloody thing still. So I shall put this back together. I'm going to have to use a bit of the fingers in the way, some sealant, but again, this is just to see if it will make any difference. There's no point buying another tap if what I've done has made no difference. But to go from 3, I think these are 3.2 up to 4.5. This has gone up to 5. That's gone up to 5. These are 4.5. So there's quite a big percentage of increase. And the engine has gone up from 650 to 1,000. So it's relative-ish. We shall find out when I put it. I'll have to JB weld this up and let that set. Oops. I can't stick a plug in it first and then go over it, because you can see it's only the thickness of this wall. This is the same all the way down. It's the thickness of that wall before whatever I wedge in there is going to come splurting out inside. So I don't want to... Yeah, the video cut out. Right, so yeah, I don't want to start making it counterproductive by wedging stuff in there and having it block up. Again, reducing the outlets. So I shall JB weld it, let it set, and do another flow test. Thank you for watching. Goodbye all.